You're listening to Taboo Transmission, unfiltered conversations on grief, awakening, and shadow work. I'm your host, Holly Faye. I don't have the answers, but I've lived the questions. Every episode, I share raw stories, unspoken truths, and the messy middle of rebuilding a life that actually fits. This isn't performative healing, it's transmission. Let's get into it. I guess I want to start by talking about what happened the day that he died. So this is not the grief that I thought I'd have. Honestly, it's so bizarre. I was off. Like, I was way off that entire day. I didn't know what was wrong with me. I kept saying that to myself. I'm like, I don't know what my problem is. Like, I was so on edge the entire day. And then it was like the middle of the afternoon. I was cleaning my car. It was a sunny day, and out of nowhere, I just started bawling my eyes out. Like, I had no idea what the hell was wrong with me or why I was even crying. It just came out of me. But come to find out, like, that was like the moment that he left, and it's like my soul felt it. And it was like someone ripped out my lungs, like, while I was just vacuuming my car. Yeah, it was a weird day. And then it was followed by a bunch of other ridiculous things. Like, I had inherited a couple of animals, because at the time I was actually engaged, and my fiance's grandmother had passed away, and she had two animals. She had a little dog and a cat, and she wanted them to go together, and so we ended up taking them in, and it was absolute pure chaos in my house. Like, I thought it would be great. It was not great. It was so much. I was already, like, also navigating, like, intense burnout at the time, because for years, like 3 straight years, I was working in network marketing for a hair care company, and like showing up every single day on my stories on Instagram, posting like to my feed and to stories all throughout the day. I was living my life out loud, like, for 3 straight years with like no breaks, besides like when my nervous system and like everything would, like, I would hit a wall every now and then where I would absolutely crumble and turn into an absolute mess, and like would be exhausted and not able to do anything. But like, that would be like a day. Like, so the only rest was like absolute forced rest, because my body was just like, no, it would just give out on me, and then I'd be pissed about it, and I'd still try to like push through. Ridiculous. But anyway, so I was there in that place. And then like once I stopped doing that, like I had a psychic dream, actually, which made me quit the company, and we can get into that at another time, I suppose. But I had tied up my identity in that company, and that was a whole other thing. But so yeah, I was so low, like just wiped out, exhausted, trying to just exist, and it was tiring at the time. And so yeah, that day but that day was fine. Like, the night before, I had gone out for the first time in months, because like I was just so busy with like responsibilities, like taking care of the house, taking care of the animals, working full-time, still working network marketing. Like, I mean, no, I had just stopped. I had actually blown it up online publicly. So I was just like hiding, actually. There was just a cloud of like shame hovering nearby. But yeah, so I was cleaning my car, that happened. Then later, I'm like giving both my dog and like the dog I had inherited baths in the sink, and then like the one I inherited, she was like this little Maltese thing that like needed haircuts. I have a pug, and also, if you hear snoring in the background of these episodes, that is Mickey. He will always be making the most bizarre noises in the background of everything I record. It has been since he was a little baby dog. But yeah, so I was I just gotten done giving both dogs a bath, and I checked my phone real quick, and I saw that I had a message from my best friend, and it was like a screenshot of like someone's post about him being gone on Facebook. And like it just like hit me like shock. Like I didn't even know what to do. Like I ended up like putting my phone down, and then I proceeded to go give the Maltese a haircut. And oh my God, it was the worst one she has ever had in her entire life. Like, so bad. I was clearly not in the game, but I was trying to be. I was trying to be fine. I didn't even know what I felt. Honestly, it was just shock, I guess. Then I'm sure the dog was shocked too if she ever saw herself. This dog was like so used to being pampered. She would like go to like have regular like grooming professional appointments, and like then she, poor thing, got stuck with me. And she got a kitchen sink dog bath and just a hack job of a haircut. Oh my God. Yeah. But then like I like cleaned up all that, and then like I literally just sat on my couch in the living room, like nothing on, like maybe a tiny light I think that I had like on the floor, because my house was like not even fully like furnished, but I didn't have the TV on, nothing. I just sat there on the couch and literally stared at the wall for like 3 hours. Like I was out there on my couch till like past 1 a.m, like just beside myself. Like I don't even know what to do. And yeah, like I just had so many thoughts. Like the first emotion that hit me the most, I think, was guilt. And like I felt so bad, because like we were not in a good place when he died. Like we actually hadn't spoken in over a decade, which was another reason why I couldn't understand why it was affecting me so much. Like we had not had any contact except for like maybe a few run-ins where I like ran into him, and it was always like a super embarrassing thing that I was doing at the time, but you know, but that was it. Like we had the big blowout, and it like ended our friendship, and we had not talked in so long, and I felt terrible about it because I had thought about it so many times before. Like I had forgiven him such a long time ago, but I never actually reached out to say so. And I couldn't even figure out why the heck I didn't, because I was always someone who cannot stand if anyone is even a little bit upset with me. Like it just like, I always felt like I must fix it like immediately, like, and I always did, like, but it's so weird that I didn't that time. And like I truly did have something to apologize for. I just didn't. And that was there hanging in the air. Also, all the times that I put him through a lot. Like, I mean, like, to give a little context here, so we were mostly best friends, I would say. We tried dating like 3 times, like putting an actual label on it, I suppose, like, and every time it was like something inside my brain switched and I would become an absolute freaking psycho. Like I would just like get so reactive. It was crazy. And we figured out that like we cannot date. Like we should just we're great when we're friends. Like let's just stay there. But it was like one of those things where like I could deny all day long that I knew a damn thing, but truth be told, like I knew that he was in love with me, but I was selfish because I still wanted him to be my friend. I didn't want him out of my life, and it probably killed him most days to be my best friend and hear about people I dated that were not him. Or he would even go as far as like giving me advice, and it would be solid. It would be solid advice. He helped me text like someone who was like breaking up with me in the moment and like told me what to say, and then they didn't. Like, it saved it for like a day anyway. I mean, granted, that wasn't worth saving, but it's just, I don't know. It was like I started remembering like all these like little like selfless things that he would do for me that I just would not even, I just didn't appreciate it, I guess, at the time, which sucked to admit and feel. And I felt just so bad. I felt so bad about it. And there were so many like examples of those types of things that he would do. And I guess took it for granted, I guess. I said like when he first died, like everyone has that one relationship that really does a number on you. And like I knew without a shadow of a doubt that like I was that for him. And yeah, I'm still sorry about that, honestly. I'll probably always be sorry about it. But at the time, I mean, I was young. We were both so young. We had no idea what we were doing. Like, and we just had way too many feelings, and I denied and repressed all of mine. So I don't know. The only one I was ever allowed to come out was just anger. Like, I was just an angry person, like, most of the time. Because I was apparently bottling everything else up. And now that I've been cracked open, now I'm dealing with what it's like to have a whole bunch of feelings. Like, cry a lot. And I am not a fan, but I know it's good, and you gotta let them out. So it's a practice, I guess. My default is still to like try to like not do that, but it doesn't work anymore. But that's not even, I'm kind of getting off topic here. I guess the point was just like, I did not expect the wave of grief and like the amount of grief. Like the grief did not make sense to me. I was like looking at it like very logically. Like, I'm like, we haven't spoken in over 10 years. Like, I essentially don't even really know him anymore, and he doesn't know me. And like, why does it feel like I'm missing vital organs? Like, why am I this sad? And I thought maybe it was just the guilt of like what happened between us, like that like ended our friendship and like caused us not to speak. But as it turns out, it was probably a much deeper reason for that, because I ended up learning that he was my twin flame, and I didn't even believe in that or know what it was before that discovery. And I will get into like how I actually came to realize that, but it's a whole other story on its own. So there was like an actual real like energetic reason though for that feeling, and like to be able to cry in the middle of the day, like at the moment that he died, was what really like stood out to me. Because like I had no idea at the time why I was doing that. Like I didn't know why I was crying, but it was like a real one, like a real cry, not like a couple tears. Like no, it was like an actual like ugly cry, like out of nowhere. And I was like, whoa, I'm losing my shit, I guess. And then, yeah, I proceeded to lose my shit much, much more after that. But, so yeah, that was like the whole first month of the state that I was in after he passed. Like, it was just, I was consumed with guilt. And then not only just the guilt over like what happened between us, but also the guilt for feeling so damn sad about it. Like I felt guilty for feeling guilty and sad. And like, So it was, yeah, just guilt stacked on top of guilt with a little sprinkle of shame over in the corner. Like, not great. And it's because, like, at the time I was engaged. I was in a relationship that I'd been in for like 12 years. So, like, I felt so, I don't know, like, just bad about feeling so bad about essentially an ex. I hate to chalk him up to that, because honestly, it doesn't even feel like it doesn't feel like the right title at all. But at the time, that's what I was kind of looking at. Like, well, this is an ex-boyfriend that my current fiance really didn't like at all. They did not like each other. It makes a lot of sense why now, but you know, yeah. So then there was like, okay, it was that guilt, and then just not really understanding my feelings, which there's been a lot of that all of my life. Until I think it was when I finally admitted out loud, like, my true feelings about him, about everything. Like, I was on the phone with my mom, and I said, actually out loud, like, it was the first time ever, actually, I think, that I admitted how I felt about him, that I actually did love him. It was fucking way too late, like, way too late. So many dollars short, really. Like, who even has a wallet? It was like, okay, great, now that this is here. And it felt, I don't know, like, it just, like, it was just there. Like, okay, now what? And then that, I think, was also part of maybe why I ended up then having, like, I don't know, psychic / paranormal / I don't know, just spiritual experiences that I just had no idea what the heck they even were. Like, I had no idea what was happening to me. I thought I was losing my mind. I thought I was going absolutely crazy, and, like, who knows? Maybe I am. Maybe I did. But yeah, so then after that, I did have some experiences. I'll get into those at a different time, but it's just like something happened that made me no longer question if there was, like, life after death. Like, I felt like I truly knew that was fact at that point. Like, it was just so, I had never had an experience like this ever before that. And I know I'm being so, like, elusive on it, but it's just like, there's only so many scary things I can share at one time. Like, nervous system needs to upgrade a little more. No, I will get into them, but not quite yet. But yeah, so I had experiences, like, had, and I thought, like, there was a moment where I felt like all was actually forgiven. Like I felt like he really did forgive me, and, like, didn't hold any, like, animosity towards me or anything. And, like, that has since been confirmed by his, like, best friends that that's true. But, like, at the time, I was just, I mean, it felt like he had forgiven me, but I had definitely not forgiven myself. And there are some parts that obviously I'm still working at, but yeah, for, like, the main big ones, that was still definitely there. I felt all the guilt about it. And then, like, after, there was, like, these 3 days where, like, I felt like I was in this sort of cocoon or whatever, like a bubble of, like, maybe denying reality, but, like, it was also so healing. And this is when all those, like, spiritual experiences were happening. But then by, like, the third day, I knew that, like, I couldn't just keep going on like that. I needed to actually say goodbye and get some kind of closure, I guess, like, close it. I also felt guilty, like, if I just kept thinking about him and had him, like, with me in spirit, that I was like somehow keeping him stuck or something. Like, I had no idea, but that's what I was thinking. Like, this is selfish. This is so selfish. Like, we're beating yourself up for being selfish when he's alive. Don't be selfish when he's dead. Like, you gotta stop. So I did that. I said, I wrote him a letter. I left it at the cemetery. That was like one of the hardest things. And then it somehow got harder than that. And every time I like didn't think it could get harder, it did. Cause like after I said goodbye at the cemetery, the 3 days that followed that were the darkest days I've ever lived through. And granted, I probably need to put a trigger warning at the beginning of this episode. But yeah, cause I don't, like, I know you're not really supposed to say it out loud or anything, but, like, I did not want to be here anymore. I did not want to be alive. I wasn't going to do anything drastic, like, or obvious, I should say. I wasn't going to do anything obvious, and yeah. Like, I wasn't just going to go, like, kill myself, because then I thought that would be the risk. I thought was that would separate us forever, and I was not willing to risk that. So, but I also thought, like, somehow if I don't do this in an obvious way, then like I can find the loophole to killing myself. Like, I don't know, man. Grief does crazy shit to you. Like, I didn't think that I'd find myself in those thoughts, but I did. And yeah, I didn't want to tell my therapist that either, because I feel like you can't tell your therapist that. I mean, don't listen to me. That's not advice. But I felt like I couldn't, because I was like, she's going to lock me up. Especially if I tell her, like, I heard him talk to me, like, in my head. She's going to be like, you are schizophrenic. Like, here's a straitjacket. I don't know. But I was afraid to be seen as crazy. I was afraid that it actually was. Because part of me still wasn't convinced I wasn't. Not at all. And so the next phase of my grief was, I would define it as a power struggle between myself and myself. Like, I like to think that I'm pretty self-aware, but also I've used the things that have helped me gain self-awareness as weapons against myself to try to gain control. That also sucks out loud to admit. But for example, when I was in high school, my parents went through a pretty bad, like, custody battle my whole life. And as a result of that, I had a lot of court-ordered therapy. And one of the times, it was because of their battle for custody, but also, like, I don't know, maybe things that came out through me having to, like, meet with, like, a mediator or something. I don't even really totally remember, but I was going to therapy for an eating disorder, and it did actually help. Like, that was one of the instances where that therapist was actually good. Like, she did actually help me realize that my problems had nothing to do with food or, like, actual weight gain or any of that. I mean, like, I definitely thought they did, but she kind of helped me see that it was more about control and, like, me trying to control a situation when I felt like I couldn't control anything else. And it was, like, about me directing my focus to something that was, the weird thing is that was painful, but, like, I guess in my subconscious, less painful than not being able to have any control. I don't know, it's crazy, but it's a very real thing that like a lot of people, I think that's probably one of the main things underneath addiction, because I feel like an eating disorder is really just another form of addiction. But that time in therapy had actually helped me make progress towards like recovery, and I did pretty well for a while, and like I still have to be careful, like I can slip back in so easily. Like I can't do like a diet where you have to like count calories or anything like that, because I will become obsessive about doing that. I'll count every single thing. But at this point, like this is crazy. Like, oh man, yeah, I don't like to admit this, but this is what happened, and I'm still dealing with the repercussions of it now. But I was, I guess, naive enough to think that I could take my knowledge of that and apply it right back to that, just like temporarily, because I was like, well, I'm aware of it, so I can shut this off at any time. Yep, those are some famous last words, probably, like, no. All right. But yeah, I thought that I could just like stop eating, and that would give me something else to focus on that wasn't the fact that he was gone. I thought that like, okay, if I'm just hungry, then I can just like become obsessive about that for a minute and like just redirect my focus, because it was crippling. Like I couldn't function, and I really needed to. I had so many responsibilities and so many things like needing my attention, and also I was putting this grief, like I was grieving in secret because I felt so guilty about doing it in the first place. Like I felt like I didn't want my fiance at the time to see me be so upset over someone that I used to date when there was a lot of things going on, like with his family's health, and there was a lot of stuff that we were dealing with, and I just didn't want to add to it. I didn't want my grief to be inconvenient, honestly. So I was like, let me just take this that I learned about why I had an eating disorder in the first place and like just kind of give myself it again, thinking that because I know about it, I can take it back at any time. I'm in control. I have this. I'm so in control here. I wasn't. No, because that was like, it was so easy. It was so easy not to eat that it didn't work. It didn't work at all. And then, so I didn't think that was really playing a part in anything until it was time to make it stop. Until I'd like hit a weight that I told myself if I got to, like, all right, then that's when I'll cut the shit. I got there, and then I started to recognize, like, oh fuck, I might not actually be in control of this. And I wasn't. And I'm still working on healing that, because I literally made myself relapse on purpose, which is nuts. That's nuts to say. It's nuts to that I actually did that, but that's true. I did do that. And I thought it would help, and it didn't help at all. Yeah, that was a tricky thing. So yeah, all of that was a direct result of me trying to take what I knew about, like, healing and, I don't know, this personal development stuff that I learned through therapy and all that, and I tried to, like, basically weaponize it against myself, but I didn't think it was against at the time. I thought I was just, like, in control, actively choosing, like, no, I'm going to focus on this so it doesn't hurt as much. But that quickly got out of hand. And yeah, so I'm going to wrap this up. I didn't expect this grief because I thought time and distance could erase connection, but it didn't. The bond was still there, maybe even stronger on the other side of everything. And the grief, as overwhelming and confusing as it was proof of something real, something unfinished. There's a lot more to this story. What came after the initial shockwave of grief was just as unexplainable. The signs, the dreams, the pull towards something I didn't believe in until it shook me awake. I'll share all of that soon, but for now, thank you for listening. These stories are hard to tell, and I don't take it lightly that you're here.